Happy Tuesday, diary listeners. We are back with Tracie Magee, and this episode, or this piece of her two-part diary entry, we have decided is going to be called Dragonfly. So the entire chunk, we're going to, all-encompassing umbrella from Graceful, Moonflower to Dragonfly. And just to lead into this a bit, prep you guys, we were discussing in the last episode, I was going on a tangent. I always get so disappointed about how much I speak during these listeners. I will say I try to work on it. I was explaining about how I was approaching fear and tackling certain things and what led to this podcast and my relationship with my apprentice. And Tracy and I were going back and forth about, her and her kids and, how hard it is at times to give people the information that, if they're not ready to receive it, they can't. There's a wall there, and it doesn't matter how much you love them, how good it is, how sound, how truthful. It just, if they're not ready to hear it, or if you're not the right person they can hear it from, it just doesn't work. So that just kind of primes you guys into where we left off. And, now that when I start speaking, as we lead into the second half, you kind of catch up to where we left off last time. So enjoy, listeners. And as always, Tracy, you're phenomenal. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Apprenticeship Diaries, where raw meets refined.
Let's be real, we're still working on refining.
What it took, what it takes, and the stories that are made.
Join us as we learn from professionals about how their stories began.
Well, and you won't wake up, at some later date being like, oh, I wish I would have,
Right.
No, you've done it. And
right.
You're like, no, I know what happens when you do that.
Exactly.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
Like the whole thing of, I would really like to see that guy. He's so hot.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's pretty, but...
Right. He's not brainful.
Yeah. I mean, and what will this amount of time take away from me?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not worth the squeeze. Absolutely. So yeah, that's what I basically did was I did it in a way that I was like, okay, what am I scared of? Like, and this is kind of like a very, it was, probably while I was walking around cleaning shit in my house, like having one of those discussions with yourself. But I was like, okay, I got to switch the paradigm. I don't want to repeat that. So what is something that I am afraid of that I wish I would be able to do, but that I'm just so terrified of. And the first thing was public speaking. So Then I put my mom had told me long ago about Toastmasters when I was first presenting with problems, public speaking. And I was so bad that fuck the ahs and ums. I would just start shaking. Like I would just be paralyzed and start violently, like my whole voice would quiver. I couldn't, I was like almost to tears. Like I was the type of person that I was so scared of that I would rather be dead in the casket than on stage giving the eulogy. Like hands down, dead. Would rather be dead. So I was like, well, that's irrational because nobody's gonna, in this modern age, gonna kill me for standing up there.
Right.
That's ridiculous to be that scared. And then also, I greatly admired people who could get up there and talk. And I was noticing that people also did the same. Like, and they weren't sometimes listening. Like, there were people that they would think were awesome that weren't awesome because they weren't really listening to what they were saying.
Right.
They were just kind of enamored by the fact that they spoke well.
Right.
And commanding and that they were the one willing to get up there. And I was like, this is some magic, man. Like, this is some weird, like, thing that I want because I've been told by people that I have perspectives that they haven't heard before, or that have made them think about something differently. And if I have that and I can do that one-on-one, well, why not maximize it? Why couldn't I do that with a room? So I started taking that on. And then that was the thing that I did. Every time I got out of, like, you know, my heart would break or out of a relationship, I was like, okay, I gotta take on another fear. Mm-hmm. And then I did jujitsu, which was cool. It wasn't good for my knees. It's not good for your knees. But it's great, and I love it, and I think everybody should try it. It's so wonderful. It's chess with your body. It's incredible. But I had been doing that, and so everything this woman was talking about on the ology things, who's like this consummate expert. She's got degrees in what I had hacked and was doing for myself. This woman is on a podcast, the #1 listened to podcast of this podcast. That was their #1 listened to, was How to Conquer Fear. And this woman has degrees on degrees about this. And I was already doing it. And more than that, I was the mentor of my mentee, and they was giving me this and saying, you need to listen to this. And so when they finally asked me, they're like, so what did you think? And I just was kind of like, your discussions with your daughter, like, do you not know who I am? Like,
right.
Have you
not heard anything that I've said for the last 3?
Protein, magnesium, bitch. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, these words have come out.
Right? And then it's funny because even, here's how bad it was. I would make 2 different meals because my kid would not eat.
Would refuse.
Right? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't eat that, and you eat this, and here's where we're going to be. And I want to remind you that protein is good for you.
Right.
You know?
Yes. And I'm not trying to force you. I will accommodate you, girl, but, like, I'm just telling you, this is not the way. Yeah. No, totally. Totally. And so when I finally, like, approached it with my apprentice, I was like, you know, I gotta be honest, I'm a little, I don't know the word, irritated.
I'm sorry, as a Virgo being irritated, right?
And we had this whole discussion, and I was like, you know, it kind of bothers me that, you know, I can understand why you would think that I'd want to listen to that, or that I would be interested, but do you understand that I'm already doing that?
Right.
And that you don't need degrees upon degrees to do that. And that's kind of the whole shtick of being a tattoo artist, is like, this was a person who taught art for a living before they came to tattooing.
Okay.
And so we went to the same art school together as in high school. So it was a very concentrated, art-focused high school.
Did you go to Carver?
I did.
See, Victoria went to Sudbrook.
Oh, right on. And Sudbrook is a sister program.
So she went to Sorry, we're
No, that's great. That's awesome.
And then that's where she was in the music program.
Oh, that's awesome.
And for vocal. And then she went to Juilliard camps.
Wow.
All the time. So, like I said, my daughter she's
incredible.
Very well trained. She's very good.
And you know Carver.
Yes, I do. Phenomenal. She was supposed to go to Carver, but
well,
yeah.
You know,
but this is when her stomach started having these issues, and I tried to appease her by saying, "Okay, we'll put you in a school that you're comfortable with, instead of doing what mother thought was best."
Yeah.
But everything works out the way that it is supposed to.
Yes.
Like, I know it.
Yes.
We went on this journey. We were living in this place.
It could have killed her. Who knows?
Right. Well, we were living in this place that was so expensive. We were living in Owings Mills, and it was unbelievably expensive. And we ended up in Pikesville. Mm-hmm. And she started going to Pikesville. And for a while, it worked. She went to a school where they weren't concerned about how much makeup you had on and whether you were wearing Gucci or, they were wearing sweatpants and being normal kids, I mean, I don't suggest sweatpants for kids, but, that's the day and age. But she started to be a normal child until her stomach started to do the same thing over and over. But it was a blessing in disguise, and it's what we needed at the time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't think there's any mistakes. I think it happens the way it's supposed to happen. And as much as I have wonderful things to say about Carver, you know, all types came out. You know, like
Right.
my story is different. Obviously, I mean, it was different than even my apprentice. We went to the same place. We encountered most of the same teachers, but what we got out of it was completely different.
Right.
And so that's what the spawning of all of this podcasting was the analysis of that paradigm of trying to teach somebody who was a teacher, who was an artist, who was degreed, and you know did the full. I'm a college dropout, and you know, and I was trying to say, like, you're gonna make more money doing this than you've ever made teaching, that you probably ever will make teaching, and you're at the helm, and it's gonna blow your mind. And it did, in ways that I didn't even realize it would. Like I think radical blow her mind kind of thing, like kind of freaked her out because there were so much controls before, and
Right.
this is so open that it was kind of like,
There's probably a lot of self-sabotage.
oh,
Like, I didn't know
sure.
that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like, when we start to do good, that we will self-sabotage ourselves to stay on that paradigm. Is that not the craziest thing?
It is. It is.
I was like, there's no way I'm going to self-sabotage myself because I'm making money now. That's crazy. But you know what? We do.
Yeah, we do.
We do. And it's
do.
like working through that was one of the things where I had to be at that low place,
Yeah.
you know, and figure out that these are things that I am no longer accepting in my life.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't know what those kind of levels of success will bring to you either.
Right.
They attract all things and all kinds and different kinds of people, and it can create the kind of facade that, you know,
But life is easy.
Yeah, that tricks
not.
people.
You know.
I remember people being like, where I would talk about just being so busy, and people would be like, "Oh, poor you, that you get to do exactly what you love to do, and that you're actually busy and successful." And I was like, "Bitch, you have no idea what I go home
Right?
and do. Like, this is bombarding. Like, I am barely holding on. There's so much going on right now." But like, it's true. It's a blessing and it's a curse, and you have to learn how to juggle all of those things. And if you don't find the balance, it can really, there's self-sabotage.
Right. But that's where, when you finally figure all that stuff out, where you start building, and you build these little steps that you become the leader from that. You know, like for me, it was like, what do I want? And what am I willing to accept? And, you know, like they say this all the time, because one of my things is that the company that I work for, my side business, they do these 9 o'clock Zooms, 9 p.m. at night. And I'm like, dude, I get up at 5 in the morning.
I want to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had to make concession of, I will do one 9 o'clock at night during the week. And I will take between 6 and 8 p.m. as my time to work this business.
Yeah.
And I had to be able to be okay to say, because this is what I've decided, this is what I'm going to do, and your opinion or whatever really is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's for you, but
Right.
it doesn't really have any bearing on me. I had this whole discussion, which I make associations with words, not so much their definitions. I've been caught in not really knowing the actual definitions, and like they seem to change all the time, but like I was convinced of this idea of compassion that was very different than a friend of mine, and we went back and forth for a while. They ended up being correct about the actual definition, but my definition I like better. So I'm sticking with it.
Because I made it.
Right, exactly. And I see it, and it's not like it hasn't, again, it was it was via the expert or the person that I felt like met me where I was, and that's what stuck. But basically, I loved what Brene Brown had to say about compassion, which is that she had done a research study. She's a social psychologist researcher, and she wanted to do a compassion smackdown. And she said, this is a 60 Minutes thing. It's like a 1 minute and 44-second clip of her on 60 Minutes. And she's talking about compassion with the host. And she said, you know what everyone has when they're compassionate that I thought was faith. I thought like surely it was faith. And she's like, and I make a distinction between compassion and empathy. I think empathy is more of like a skill set. But compassion, all of them had this, and you know, they kind of annoyed you a little bit, the people with a lot of compassion, because they didn't, you know, they don't gossip, they don't do all the things that like, unless it's about you kind of really enjoy, they kind of irritate you. But she said, you know what they all had, and the host was like, what? And she goes, boundaries. They have really good boundaries. They respect other people's boundaries, you know, that's fine, but they have boundaries, and they do expect that you respect them. And she
said that was Brene Brown.
Brene Brown.
Brene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brene. And I will also send you her TED Talk. It's incredible, Tracy. You will absolutely love this TED Talk. But I sent this to my friend. She's of a different generation than me. And we were talking more in the lines of like biblical kind of stuff. And her focus was on a lot of like milquetoast leadership and just her views, and they're not wrong, is that there are expectations in the Bible that God gives, and he doesn't give them out of hate. He doesn't give them out of any of that. It's like you as a parent. Like, I'm telling you this, you need protein.
Right.
You're fucking killing yourself, man. And you're not getting what you want. I'm trying to lead you to what is best for you if you would just do it. And so like that's the paradigm of like what's set out biblically. And we were discussing this idea of love and hate and all this stuff. And so my contention is compassion is full love. It's love for yourself and the other person. It doesn't negate you. Like you had said, I don't feel like I have to burn myself down in order to lift someone up. Now I just walk away.
Or to prove a point.
Yeah, or anything like that.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, I love myself enough to be like, okay.
And that's, to me, full compassion. The actual definition of compassion is actually more about like feeling this obligation to help someone and a sense of pity, which I had never attached to compassion. I had always, I don't see it that way. I don't think that you should ever give more than what you can. And I don't think that you should, my therapist is very big about like, you don't pity other people, like, because that implies that you're better than them. So you don't pity them because you aren't any better than them.
It says, compassion is the ability to recognize someone else's pain or struggle and feel a genuine desire to help or support them through it. It's more than just empathy. Feeling is a feeling for somebody. Compassion adds action or intention.
And so what I said to my friend who I was debating this with, I said, compassion to me is recognize the shared humanity in someone else. That I am no better than you.
Right.
We're both sinners. You know, like if you're
at the end of the at the end of the day.
Right. And so the whole debate was about when to apply the action. You know, like what would be considered hateful or not hateful, or like how do you hate in a way that is right by God? Because it's all about what God intends.
But God never said hate was acceptable.
No, actually, that's not a truth, and that's not what a lot of leaders talk about. You know, it's all love. The truth of the matter is, God does want you to hate his enemies and the enemies
True.
of him.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's about
True.
hating the bad, hating everything that.
But I also think God understands that we have to accept, because if you look at Satan, and Satan was an angel,
Yes.
right?
God created all of it.
Right. So at the end of the day, he's still a God's child.
Oh yeah. Well, God understands all of it. There's nothing. I mean, it's like you as the parent. You
Right.
understand. You gotta eat fucking protein.
Right.
Like,
and there's also, this is way off, but this is I'm the black sheep of the family, right? None of my family talks to me.
Aw.
And it's okay. I accept
That's
that.
actually sad for them.
Because I am awesome.
You are.
But
you are.
because I wouldn't conform to the chaos.
Yes.
Of what was going on in that household, and that we don't talk about our problems. We have problems. You keep them to yourself. It's nobody's business. You honor thy mother and father, and you owe me because I took care of you as a child. Those were
very mobbish,
right? And right?
Sounds like you were born to the family.
I was. Trust me.
Is there a Don?
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious if that was your dad's name. Donald.
Don, I'm so sorry. I kissed the ring.
Dude, I love it. I love it. And yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Like, I don't know if I'm the black sheep. I think we're all pretty weird in our own ways.
But the difference is like, I chose this different life, and like, I look back, and my dad tried. He really did try. Like, my mom was the one who brought my grandfather and my dad back together. Because my dad kept me, and my grandfather was like, you can't raise a child.
Right.
You're a man. Men don't do that. This is back then, right?
Yeah.
And my grandfather came from a different era, a majorly different,
Yes.
completely different. And, he was also Catholic. And he was just my grandfather, and so, like, it was a different thing. And so my mom is the one who, like, connected the two. And my grandfather loved my mother. My mother was she's a saint. She is a saint.
That's awesome.
But I can't remember what I was telling you that. Because I was trying to say, like, I chose different. My dad tried. I chose to draw the line and change that paradigm. Yes. Like, I said, I'm drawing that, like my dad always talks about, you draw a line in the sand and you don't cross it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guess what?
I'm crossing it.
Got that lesson.
Yeah. Recently, my mom, same. My mom's been
I have
challenged.
to pee.
Oh, yeah. Let's pause.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I'm like, okay. I was gonna say,
we're back.
Okay.
Let me make sure we're back.
We have drained. We're cooking with oil.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, that's funny. It's just so funny that you said that, because we were talking about spirituality and stuff like that. And this last weekend, there's two things I wanted to tell you. First off, this last weekend was surreal. Like, one of the leaders that is a part of Tranont, she is very faith-based.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I am not faith-based. Right. I am spiritual. Mm-hmm. I do not believe in organized religion.
I agree.
It's funny, and I could tell you 1,000 different stories, but that's probably, we would be here all night long.
I've heard them. I tattoo for a living.
Right. Well,
a lot of trauma.
Anyway, so she says that she's doing this, like, prayer before the conference starts, and I'm like, great. Right? So we go, and instead of it being this, like, pray, oh my God, it's good. It was, they sang scripture songs. Mm-hmm. And they were, like, today's
yes,
tones and stuff like that. And then afterwards, they were talking, they said, if anybody wants to have a Bible, we would love to make sure you get one. And I'm like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And one of my friends, she's like, Tracy, do you have a Bible? And I'm like, no, actually, but I could tell you why I don't. And the long story of it, short, is in 2009, I went to rehab. And my mother took me because I'm a mommy's girl. And she packed all my stuff and everything like that. She wouldn't let me have my purse or my phone, and a big resentment over those things. But yeah. So anyway, I'm in my hotel, not my hotel room, but my room in the rehab center, and I unpack everything, and there's a fucking Bible in there, right? And I shouldn't say fucking Bible.
You can. Why not?
At the time, that's where my mind was, right? Like, I was like, what does God have to do with this?
Yeah.
Right? I got myself into this mess. I'm the bad person. God's never, and that was my I don't know what the word is, but that's how I thought God thought of me. I'm bad because I did bad things and I drank and all on and on and on, right? I was just a bad kid, all of it. So anyway,
very similar to a lot of feelings like that.
Anyway, I'm sitting there and we're in this group thing and I'm all doped up on pain medicine, not pain medicine, but the stuff that they put you on the hospital when you go get detoxed and stuff like that, because I had to be medically detoxed. And this girl was leaving. They kicked her out of rehab. I don't know why. Probably for using or something of that sort. But anyway, she was leaving and everybody's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And she's like, I don't know. Like, and then somebody was like, do you have a big book? And everybody kept asking her about a big book. And I'm like, she kept saying, no, I don't have a big book. How am I going to get a big book? I don't have any money. And I'm like, I have a big book. So I go and I literally jumped up and I ran to my room and I grabbed the Bible and I gave it to this girl, right? Little did I know that is not the big book in rehab, right? The AA, like the big book is Alcoholics Anonymous, right? And so I gave this girl my Bible. Well, I never replaced it. Like, I have always thought I should. Like, I got my daughter, like, the abridged version so that she would know what she's reading and all of that sort. But I have never needed to go to the Bible for my spirituality. Right. So, of course, this girl is like, you need to tell Tina. And I'm like, oh, my God, like literally mortified.
Why?
Right? I was just mortified. I'm like, oh my God. So she drags me up to the front and we had to wait like 15 minutes to talk to one of the top leaders. Like she makes like, I don't know, she makes like $100,000 a day practically. That's awesome. Right? And I'm like, this is going to be a hot shit show. Right? Just how fucking embarrassing. Here I am, lowly me. I don't need a Bible. I'm fine, So we stand in line and I ended up telling this story, and the woman, Tina, she was so sweet. She goes, oh my God, honey, I'm going to send you the Bible that I have. Yeah. And she calls her husband over and she's like, please get this woman's information and all this stuff. And she said, you're going to love the one that I got for you, or that I use, because it has all this, the scripture or whatever's being said. And down below, it explains in layman's terms for like people like you and me who have no idea what they were talking about that back then. Mm-hmm. And you're going to, and I've seen these Bibles. They are very amazing. Yeah. Well, she's like, they were like, put in a 3-way chat and it's going to be fine. Right. Well, nothing happened. And I totally forgot about it. And I'm home yesterday. No, I was at work. And I'm sitting there and I get this text message and it's like, your Bible's on the way. And I'm like, what? Oh, it like dawned on me. I'm like, it's very, very cool. Like, there was no, like, you need to be this way in this religion and blah, 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 blah. It's just if you see fit to have something in your life like this. And I thought that was really, really cool. And like, really cool. I can tell you, like, going through rehab and then relapsing after 5.5 years. And I always have to say this because I'm still working on it. It was only 2 days. Okay. And so I have 11 years clean now. I'm working on my 12th years, right? At my 12th years. 12, yeah, that. Year, whatever. Anyway, so I had to come to, like, I've done a lot of mental work on why I relapsed. And, I used to always say it was because of a guy, right? Because I was hanging out with the wrong people and he made me drink, right? And the truth of the matter is that I drank because I was unhappy inside. And I didn't have the boundaries. I didn't have the balls to say no. And I didn't have a conscious contact with a higher power. Yeah. Right? I did, like, I was trying, but I had the old concept of I was bad. God won't love me if I'm bad, right? And I'm going to have to pay for all my sins. That's the concept that I had. So through this whole process,
the hole was too deep.
Right. And so through this process of going through this the last 11 years, I have found that God is all loving. And he is absolutely amazing. And he has done so much for me that I can't even deny his existence. Like, if you look back, there's, I always revert to the footprints prayer, right? Yeah. When God, why weren't you with me when I was going through so much? And it was because I was carrying you, right? And it wasn't God. I think it was Jesus. Yeah. But the concept is the same, right? Yes. And there's so many times I look back and I can tell you there was no way. Like, there was a night that my ex-husband, we went to a concert and things happened, too much drugs, too much alcohol, all the things. And he was driving at 120, miles per hour, beating the shit out of me.
Oh my God. How do you even do both?
Right?
Oh my God. Like, apart from that being horrific, but just like...
Well, I finally...
How do you not die? Like, how do both of you get out of that?
Here's the thing.
I know that's what you're touching on, but...
Right, here's the thing. I couldn't take it anymore. And I opened the door.
Oh my God.
And I went to jump out of the vehicle. And the seatbelt. I don't know why. We didn't wear seatbelts back then.
You had it on.
I had the seatbelt on for some reason. I remember my legs going and hitting the side of the car and flying back in.
Whoa.
I know. Yeah. That was God right there. And I always tell this part too because it was really funny. I think it's funny, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm a hot mess. Everything is my fault. He beat the shit out of me because of me, right? That's the way you're conditioned to believe, right? Yeah. So I stay home with my child who is 18 months old. And my focus... Sorry.
No, it's great.
My focus is I had to go back and get my shoe.
Oh, yeah.
That fell out because it had my driver's license in it. So that's exactly what I did. So I go in my car with the baby in the car, and I find this one white shoe on the side of the road.
You found it?
I found my shoe with my driver's license in it.
Oh, wow.
Right? I think that is the irony of life. Like, how does something so horrific happen? And my thought process was, it would really suck to have to go
to the NBA
and get another driver's.
It would suck.
Right?
It would suck.
Nowadays, it's a lot harder. But back then, you know how many licenses I've lost?
That would have been insult to injury, though.
Right?
Like, I agree. I would have been with you. I would have been walking my happy ass and getting that damn shoe.
Like, it's funny because I had, like 4 days later, I had to go to the hospital because I was a hot wreck, right? I had like I had a broken cheekbone, a broken collarbone, and like my ribs, and but I got my license.
You did.
You know.
You could identify yourself at the hospital.
Right? And I remember sitting there in the room, and I'm sitting in this white gown. And they've taken all the x-rays, and they're telling me all this stuff. And I'm lying for him.
Yeah.
Saying that I got jumped at the concert that we went to. And, you know, I look back, like you look at the little pieces in your life and what would have happened if I had just told the truth.
Yeah.
You know, but I was so afraid. And I had been conditioned from such a young age to be afraid of the police.
Yeah, and to hold secrets.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but I got my license.
You did get your license.
You know, so I'm always worried about the license thing, you know. That's the place that gets you places to go.
It does. It opens a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Girl, what a story.
Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to add, so my pastor, you know, you said that you never needed, you know, the Bible for your life and everything like that. And that makes perfect sense. My pastor calls the Bible, it's an acronym. It's just something that he considers it, but he calls it basic instructions before leaving Earth. And he's like,
oh, wow, I love that.
Isn't that great?
That's beautiful.
So you did give the big book, by the way.
I want to write that down.
That is the big book. And he said, you know, it's a car manual. Like,
right.
You have your car.
Do you know that the acronym that we look at, if you take the word dog and you spell it backwards?
Oh, yeah, it's God.
It's God.
It's God.
Dogs are all loving.
They're amazing. And they are gifts from God. And
they
so
are
horses, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely.
Like,
they're the only animal that comes out of heaven. Like God comes back on a horse.
Okay.
And when
Sorry.
you know, Revelation happens. Oh, you're fine. When
I
Revelation
just make a whole bunch of noise right now.
It's cool. It's raw to refined. We're not refined yet. We're getting there. Who knows when that'll happen? But you know, when God comes back, he's purported to be on a horse, on a white horse. So horses are the only animal that you know for certain have to be in heaven because, like, they come out of heaven.
Well, never mind. Yeah. That's the wrong way to put that.
What?
I need to go to heaven now.
I know, right? All the horses. I think they're all there. I think all the innocent animals are I think it's all love, internal love. I mean, I really do think it's just a state that is far beyond whatever we can conceive. But yes, dogs, the spelling backwards.
I love that.
Dog.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
And that's what he said. He's like, you know, a lot of people, there's a lot of questions that the Bible doesn't answer, you know, because God tells you what he needs you to know while you're here. Like, that's the point. So when you get in your car, for example, you have your car manual. How many of you have read it? It's like this thick.
Right.
But that could tell you exactly how to run your car, fix your car, everything about your car. How many of you actually crack that thing open and read it?
How many times have you cracked it open when there was a problem?
Oh, always.
And tried to find what you needed to know.
That's when people turn to the Bible too.
Right.
And so that's the other thing is that, you know, that's why whenever you dip into the Bible, it can be new because like it offers you something that you didn't realize that you needed in that moment. And it can be revealed to you continuously as you move throughout your life. So it's a very, I still haven't read the whole thing. I'll admit it's hard. It's very challenging. And you don't realize how hard it is because you think, well, it's just a book. And I
know they were talking about over the weekend, they were talking about one of their kids has written the whole Bible out.
Yeah. One of our girls at church, she has done the whole Old Testament. She's written it completely out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she wants to do the New Testament. She wants to do it again. Like she wants to do, and it's wonderful. I would imagine that it's just so nice. And that's kind of how I learned too, is like reading it down, going back, you know, being in that practice. I tried to do it, but I combined it with too much. It's kind of like the whole like boot camp thing. Like don't give yourself extra, you know,
Right.
go in simple. But of course I wanted to like, oh, I'll learn to do calligraphy and I'll copy the Bible.
You're selling me.
Dude.
Do you know how many art pieces that I have that I'm like, I'm going to make this amazing. And I'm like halfway done and I'm like, I don't, like, I wanted to make this. My dad went in the bus. He did a lot of woodwork. And he did with the torch.
Yeah.
Where he would stain it with the torch.
That's cool.
You know, well, I was going to do that with this. I got this beautiful piece of wood and I drew a horse on it and then I was going to paint it and it was going to be done. And I was like, no.
I'm going to use the fire.
I can make fire on it. I'm going to make it awesome. Do you know that horse isn't even painted now?
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's all right.
You could still paint it.
I could.
Paint can cover up a lot. you could cover up some of those sins. You know, you just keep going. Like for me, a lot of it is just like push past it. That was one thing that a girlfriend of mine, you know, to the whole I'm not an artist point. I want to do some things that are about anxiety and work people through it because art's so good for that. It's,
right.
It's a way to...
Art therapy is.
Yeah. Well, and there's like, you have in your mind what you're thinking, to your point. You know, I have this vision and you get attached to that vision instead of just
letting it flow.
The Bob Ross happy accidents that come along and letting it flow and letting it be what it can be if you just let go of the expectation and let emerge from there what is. And so my girlfriend, we had an art day and she wanted me to do one of those lead her through, like, we'll paint a cat. And I was like, I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Like, that's not how I do art. And so I was trying to sit her down and we were looking at a Monstera plant that she had. And she's like, maybe we can paint that. Well, she's comparing herself now to me and I have trained in art my whole life.
Right.
And she's a nurse. And I was like, this is wildly unfair. And she goes, I like yours better than mine. I'm like, of course you do. Crazy. I'm like,
but you have to do the comparison for her. Like,
right.
if you were to go and we'll just say try to assess somebody who is sick,
yeah,
you'd be like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing is that, like, if I were in her realm, but see, I'm not there, so we're in this state. And I said, well, here's the first thing. You're listening to me talk about what I'm doing, and you're looking at what I'm doing, and you're trying to mimic that. There's a lot of reasons why you don't like it is because I'm looking at the plant from this view, and you're looking at the plant from this view. So
right.
You're copying what I'm doing,
perspective.
But that's not what you're seeing.
Right.
And I was like, and also copying what you see from life, that's like a higher level skill. Like that is something that you hone over time. I said, so let's just switch. You like mine better. Take it. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, take mine. I said, I'll work on yours for a bit and you can work on mine. And until you know, when you start feeling like you don't like what you're doing, let's switch again. And like, we just kept switching. And what I told her was like, listen, dude, this is just us having fun. We're having a time. We're sitting down. We're enjoying each other's company. I was like, this shit goes south. It's just canvas and wood. We can burn it out back and have another layer to this encounter where we have hot chocolate and tell more stories. I was like, I put things permanently on people for a living. Right. This is nothing. This is, we can do anything with these things. We can crack each other over the head afterwards with this. Like, you know, like what? Right. It doesn't have to amount to anything. And then I started, like, as we were talking, freeing her up. I said, you know, you're trying to do something. Art doesn't have to be anything. I was like, look at your house. Look at all these patterns. Look at the colors. Look at the things that you chose. Put them in there. I said, I brought glitter. I brought glue. I brought all this stuff. I was like, play. Mm-hmm. Just play. See what you can make. Flick paint at it. Fuck it. You know, like it's just a canvas. Right. And so she started loosening up and having fun. And by the end, we had two pictures that completely matched each other. And I gave them to her, and they perfectly matched her house because she was just looking at everything, and that was her housewarming gift.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and so the next time I met with her, I was like, well, do you want it? She goes, no, I got it. I know exactly what to do. I don't give a shit. We're going to paint. We're going to have fun. I don't care.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. She's really cool.
Yeah.
And also, I've had her on the podcast. She's been very transparent about this, but she is a chemo nurse and she has cancer. So we have to work between when she has good days and not. Sometimes she loves getting tattooed. That's a very cathartic thing.
Believe it or not, I got my at 52.
Oh,
I'm going to show you.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, because I want you to add to it, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm like, I would probably just allow you to just do it.
Oh,
like,
I would love to.
I'm sorry. Take off all my clothes right now.
I'm naked on the internet. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that.
That's my first tattoo.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
So it's the dragonfly and the American flag.
It's perfect.
And
how beautiful.
I'd like to put something over here. Like, I wanted it to be like...
I'm going to have to be very, very careful because that's awesome. And I don't want to take away from how awesome that is.
I wanted to do something like my new logo, but I also want a horse.
Okay.
So, can you make a horse dragonfly? Something of that sort.
We can talk about it, but like I get wanting a horse. I get wanting to. It's kind of perfect. Like,
it is, right?
Well, it follows your arm beautifully, and that line of your arm. And the reason why I say I would have to be careful is that I don't want to put anything that takes away from it. It takes away from the shape of it and the attention to it and the color palette.
We can always do somewhere else, I guess.
We could.
I really was like, I wanted it to be like a full around, but
it's possible. No, it's not impossible. I'm just saying that we'll have to. That's the thing when you start getting tattooed. What you get tattooed dictates what can come next, because that kind of sets the foundation.
Then it has to be a horse.
Yeah, it has to be a horse. I love that.
Yeah,
I love horses.
I don't know why I keep saying sorry all of a sudden. Like, I go through these phases. I'm sitting here naked now.
You're not naked.
You never know.
They don't know. I could be having a show. Playing it real cool over here.
Right. You're not naked. No, you're fine.
It's nothing. Honestly, it's nothing I have not. I mean, I haven't seen.
We had
naked,
that conversation. I told you, like,
it's
my daughter.
I have not experienced.
Wait. I'm like, whoa, it's getting south now.
I know. It's getting real fun.
I'm zipping all the way up.
I love it. No, I would be honored. That would be so cool. I just have to. I will say I would have to make sure that I don't take away from that. That's beautiful. Yeah. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's funny because I was so nervous.
Yeah,
I'm terrified of nurdles. I'm terrified of needles.
Nerds or nerdles could be scary.
Right? There's a little bit of both, sort of.
And yes, you had mentioned that, like, injections and all that stuff.
Right, so I was terrified. Absolutely. Like, the story, is still unfolding as to, like, what happened there. But since I've had children... I had 2 C-sections. Oh. And so, like, you don't get a choice when they're putting an epidural in and all of that stuff. So I've learned to be able to psychologically bring myself into a different place. Well, this girl, sweet girl, she was struggling really hard. I didn't know at the time because I believe in the good in every single person. And I shouldn't say it like that. There was nothing wrong with her. She was still struggling with addiction. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that in people. I only see the good. Yeah. Right? And so it was actually, my daughter went with me because I was terrified. And she's 20 at the time. No, 22. Anyway, she did my arm. And Victoria got tattooed up. She got, I think it was 4 dragonflies tattooed right here. So that has been like our
bond, yeah.
Our bond. This girl's doing absolutely amazing, by the way. She did end up in rehab and she's got over a year clean. She's doing amazing. Like, every time I see her, I'm like, dang.
That's awesome.
You know, but it's surreal because I swore like my whole life there's no way I'm ever doing anything like that. Like I used to joke around as a reason why I never did like any intravenous drugs was because I was terrified of needles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it probably is true in some sort of fashion, but I was never really around that I remember. You should say that.
Yeah, you recall.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was around a lot and there was a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
And
so.
But I was never around that kind of stuff. But I don't think I ever would because I was like, I'm never doing that. I'm scared of needles.
Yeah.
You know, and that was my mother's choice, my birth mom.
Yeah.
So, can't remember where we're going with this whole thing now.
Well, so the tattoo artist was struggling. You got your tattoo. You never thought you would because you were afraid of needles.
Yeah. But now I'm like, I want this beautiful, like, design.
Well, it's different, right? Like,
it is.
It's not an inoculation. So
It's absolutely, like, when she did it, I was so
floored.
Like, I was so floored. It was so gorgeous. I was like, did you see my tattoo? Like, I'm putting my tattoo in everybody's face, right?
I
was standing at the gym, like, you know, doing this the whole time.
And you have good triceps.
Thank you.
It does, and it follows that line of your arm just beautifully. She did an amazing job.
She really did.
She's
got a heart of gold, too.
I believe
heart
it.
of gold.
I don't get along with, you can't get along with everybody anyway, but like typically the tattoo artists that I know, they're just like some of the best people. You know, just because we know we're dealing with our own shit too.
Well, you know, here's the funny thing. I really never considered it art until I was like, this is what I want. And we went through this process of pictures and this and that, and she would draw it out and all this stuff. And I was like, how long does it take you to do this? You know, and she's like, she was like, I was up at 3:00 in the morning thinking about this, you know, and she was like doing it out. And I was really like the way, like, and when I saw it, it did not look like this.
Yeah.
But when she put it on my arm, I was like, holy crap. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, people have their different approaches, like all artists, you know, they have their ways with it. But for me, I used to see it more of the art than it is now for me. Now I view it as just a way to connect with another person. And yeah, like,
I was thinking you were going to say it's just like a job, like doctors. Like, I remember I was in the hospital because I had staph on my leg, and I was so embarrassed. It was on the inside, like really close to all my lady bits, and you know, and
staph's all over you,
right?
Like,
I was terrified, right? And I'm like covering up, and the doctor was like, do you know how much we've seen by the time we even get into like a rotation like this? And I'm like, he's like, I don't even notice that anymore. And I'm like, but still, I haven't shaved. And
no, it's quite the opposite, actually. I can understand that with doctors and stuff like that. But no, it's quite the opposite, actually. I see it not about me. When you take the art position, it's kind of like you're putting your art on someone.
Okay.
And for better or for worse, I have my style, I guess, but I've never really seen it that way because I feel like I just take a lot of things from other styles and I look at what people want and I facilitate it. So I know how to do that.
So it's about them.
Yes.
But you're just the guide the facilitator.
Yeah. I'm just the one that has the skills that can bring that about. And I've studied it so much that I can tell them what way to go with it, what way not to go with it, what's going to look good, what's not going to look good. And at first, in those first moments, of course, there's conflict typically because, you know, I know what I'm doing. I know what tattoos can do. I know all that stuff. And they're raw. They have the idea. They have...
And they're excited.
Well, and also that it's gravity, right? Like that mark meant a shit ton to you. Like,
Right.
of course.
Right.
It doesn't have to be big either. It can be a small thing that has epic meaning.
Exactly.
And so if you take it in the whole like staff thing of like, do you know how many of these I've done? Then you're like, it feels like a rejection of a person. It's almost like, do you know how many bitches I've laid? You think you're special?
That's the way that I took it. Like I'm just like a number.
No.
You know what I mean? Number 965. You know? But I can see it from your standpoint too.
Yeah.
Like, but I like the facilitator. Like,
yeah.
I never expected to be like, oh my God, I love tattoos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I remember when I had an argument with she was 17 at the time, not Victoria, but my oldest. Mm-hmm. She wanted a tattoo. Her dad said no, right? She had to be 18. And she tried to bully me into it, right? Well, 18 years old, she went and she tattooed. She got a tattoo across here, down here, and her whole leg. And now she's got the whole sleeve and the back of both ears, right? And I remember, like, I talked to her about it, and she was like, Mom, I was just so mad. I just, like, she got something that she would never, like, it's not her, right? And she was like, I was just so mad when I did it. She was mad at me. She was mad at her dad. You know, she just wanted to prove that she could get a tattoo. Yeah. You know, and now she's like, because she sees her little sister, and she's like, she's getting herself tattooed again, Mom.
Aww.
But Victoria's totally the opposite. Like, very small, very delicate, dainty.
Right.
You know, but Jessica's just like, nope. Yeah. She like, both of my kids are both my personalities. Yeah. Like, Victoria is my art and my kindness and my love and my peace and Jessica is my bull. She's a Taurus. Yeah. And she is a fighter, and she's all of my survivor. Mm-hmm. I will burn the ground in front of you to prove to you that you can't touch me.
Don't fuck around and find out.
Exactly. Like, she's on the I'm not talking to Mom for a while stage right now. And
it's fine. I mean,
it is. You know, everybody has to go through these things. Like, I did it with my mom. You know, like, my dad told me a story, and I didn't talk to my mom for 20 years. Wow. And come to find out, that story was a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, my God.
You know, of all the things. And I should have known. My mom is love and light. Wow. You know, and
she's been a hero in this
yes, she really is. Like, of all the things in the world, my mother and her whole family. Wow. You know, they accepted me as an outsider. I was the adopted child. Like, my mom couldn't even adopt me because the paperwork wasn't
there.
Right.
Really.
You know.
That's probably why you went back for your license.
It really was.
Gotta have the paperwork.
You don't. I didn't have a real birth certificate until I think I was 35. Wow. Like, I'd never, there was a copy of a copy of a copy. Wow. You know, and I ended up finally having to have one. Wow. And when, you know,
it's incredible you were able to get that far.
Right.
Long.
But, you know, it's just the times change. Like, I would walk in and I need a new Social Security card, and they would be like, well, what's your Social Security number? Where's your ID? And I'd be like, well, I don't have that. Here's a piece of mail. Yeah. And my number is.
Right. That was enough.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad actually ran into something very... It's a hopefully I can tell this briefly, but basically we were going to travel and he had to get a passport. So you do need certain things, your birth certificate being one of them. So he shows up, Social Security office, showing what he needs. And he's showing them his information, and they're like, we don't have a Ronald Montgomery Nichols. And he's like, what do you mean? Right. What do you mean? They were like, oh, we don't have it. We do have a Donald Montgomery Nichols. And so they bring it out, and I'm going to pause there and go back. So back in my grandmother's day, the men didn't come into the delivery room. Like, they just didn't. They waited outside, and none of that cord cut and shit or whatever. So my grandpa Vernon, who I never met, he died way before I was born. He died when my dad was 5. So he didn't even go. Like, she went to the hospital, and he was like, okay, deuces, come back with a kid, you know, like, whatever. Right. And so So
Deuces.
yeah, like okay, and so
See ya.
he had always joked. I mean, he didn't present it as a joke. He was like, my next kid is going to be called Monty Lewis. Monty Lewis is the name. So when my grandmother had their kid, they
Had to
come
fill
in.
out the paperwork.
Yeah, they come in, they're like, what do you want to call him?
Right.
And they said that my grandmother was like, we're going to call him Monty Lewis. So she gets home with the kid, and he's like, well, what did you name him? And she said, Monty Lewis. He's like, get out. I was joking. And she was like, what? He was like, I don't want Monty Lewis. Are you mad? And she was like, you've been saying. He's like, no. No. So they call it in.
Can you imagine now?
Right? So when my dad gets his birth certificate, or the birth certificate of Donald Montgomery Nichols, crossed out is Monty Lewis. They heard wrong. And so they filled it out Donald for his whole life. Yeah. He was Donald. Oh my. So he had to go through a legal name change in order to actually get a passport and actually.
Oh my God.
And he's like, how have I been paying taxes all this time? Like, how did it?
I want my money back.
My mom was like, how did you get through school? He's like, I don't know. Maybe they just saw it and was like, well, he goes by Ron, or Ronald. Like,
that's so funny.
Isn't that hilarious?
I can tell you, when I started school as Grace. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And when I graduated, I went to high school and I was like, I'm going to be a different person.
Yeah.
So I went to school as Tracy.
Which
is on my birth certificate.
Yes. That's awesome.
It's so funny.
That is hilarious, man. Yeah, and that's the thing is that, like, kids get called a lot of things. Like,
right.
What's on your birth certificate is not necessarily what you get called.
Well, this is going to be so funny. So
I'm loving this podcast, by the way. This is going to be great. It's going to be multiple parter.
Right? It's gonna
People are going to come back, though. And I am going to preface, like, you have to listen to the end part. The end gets really good. We get real fun. And
we don't even drink, right?
No.
It's so funny.
So life, man.
So I'm in the hospital with Victoria. She is like just a couple days old. You haven't seen the guy, right?
Right.
So he's coming. But I have to fill out the paperwork, and I am on pain medication. Right?
God.
And I'm sitting there, and now, mind you, I had this horrible relationship with my ex, with the child being held over my head, and you will stay with me, or this, and you will do what So I'm filling out this paperwork, and I'm on pain medication.
Oh, my Lord.
And I'm like, I knew her name was going to be Victoria.
Yeah.
Right? We agreed on Victoria Carissa.
Pretty.
And his last name was Jackson, and my last name is McGee, and I was going to put Jackson McGee Jackson, no Jackson. So
yeah,
the paperwork has a hole in the middle because I've scratched out Jackson so many times that, right? It ended up being Jackson McGee, which really sucks. Victoria's like so mad about it. Like she has to get her name changed because she's like, he's never been in her life.
Aww.
Since she was 8 years old. She's like, I'm just done.
Well, I mean, you had some inclination to be like, hun, there's a hole in the paperwork. I mean, I was wrestling with it.
I never told him.
Well, and you gave him every opportunity. It's not like you denied him from being in her life. He just wasn't there. So, I mean,
I just never forget there was a hole.
She could not be mad at you.
There was a hole in the paperwork. It was like probably that big. It's the size, like I was just like, oh my God, can you imagine?
And they probably like, she's on drugs,
right? They were like, and the thing is like, I was just so mortified that he wasn't there to be a part of this.
Well, and advising the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, like, it would have been easy if you could have had a conversation about it. And been
right.
Like, how do you want this to read? Like, it's our kid.
Right.
But he wasn't. It was all on you.
It was a hot mess, but...
God, girl. You have 2 lovely children as a result. So
I do.
All and of the hot messes. So.
They are absolutely amazing. And they're, like I said, they're both my personalities. I don't know how they did that, but...
I'm sad about... it's Jessica?
Jessica, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad about her tattoo journey. Because as a person who does tattoos... I think there's a huge responsibility as the person, kind of like when you're a bartender. You're supposed to know when you've overserved, and you're supposed to know, who you're serving and why.
She fully wanted it at the time.
Oh, they all want it, hon. They all want tattoos. I have to beat
I guess
people.
it's the same thing as wanting alcohol.
Oh, it is. Mm-hmm. It is, because it's so it's a lot of cutters like reform into tattooing because it allows them to feel the pain and everything, but also have something left that they don't want to hurt then.
Right.
So it's a healing thing and it's a reclamation, and it also helps them work through it. But like there's a lot of policies that I have now that are non-negotiables, and I only will drop them if I really know you. Like, I have to know you, and I have to have worked with you before and have extensive touch base. But if you are new to me, it's no-go. And one of them is have to be 18. Have to. The other one is I will not tattoo you within a year of grief. Like, you have to go through all of the stages. And I can only put a year on it, but I think a year is a good amount of time to, like, feel those feelings and kind of come around, because you're acting so emotionally. And
Or not. Like, for grief goes through all of those stages, and there's that one stage where you just feel nothing.
Yes.
And that can be a very long period.
Oh my God. And it comes in waves. It's not linear. I mean, even a year is maybe not even long enough, but I have to put at least a minimum on that, because people want to do it right away. Right away. And
that's funny, because I had somebody who just did that. He had his wife's name, like,
that sounds right across the chest.
Yep, and it was like, and now he's dating like a Playboy bunny.
Yeah, he's going through it, man. He's still going through the stages of grief. Let me tell you, that is definitely.
I thought it was so funny.
That
though.
is still grieving.
Like,
God bless him,
right?
Like
everybody.
She's not going to care about that name. Yeah. She is not going to care about that name. So that's good. That's a person right now for him. That's beautiful. But you know what? And that's the thing, is that like I know the power of what I'm doing, and I know how much it matters. I know what it matters to me. I know what it matters to that person. I know how much having a tattoo on you that has, you're not in contact with people anymore. That you're wearing something that was done at a very beautiful point in your life, where everybody was in connection, everybody was doing a thing, but now you look back and you're not speaking to this person anymore. Right. And things have changed, and what carrying that tattoo is, and what you're reminded of every time you see it. I always look at the good things, and I try not to hold the bad things, but I would be lying if I said there wasn't that.
Right. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Well, I'm so happy that they've been cut into. My surgeon was very like, what? Because everybody's like, I know my arm is broken off in like 3 places, but could you, like, I know you have to open it up, but could you like not hurt my tattoos? Like, could you?
Right.
And I'm like, no, fuck them up. And he was like, what? And I was like, I don't give a shit. And he was like, I said, I'm a tattoo artist, man. Like, I can fix that. I can fix it. I can go to other people to fix it. I'm not really worried. But, he's a surgeon, so he was like, I want to see what I can do. And I said, have fun. Okay? I don't want to take away from your joy. I can imagine.
He's like, she said.
No, he was like, I'm going to work
He's like
with
an ex.
I said, listen, if you want to have fun, have fun. Like,
that's so funny.
I don't want to get in the way of what you want to do. But I'm just telling you, I'm not attached. I have accepted this. I want to walk again. I want to bend my leg again. I want the shit out of me. I don't care. So they're different now, and I think they're perfect. And now I feel very good about these pieces, because I feel like they're exactly what they needed to be, and I have come full circle to exactly what I could expect, having done what I did.
Right.
It's all very cool and very spiritual, but I know the gravity of it. And so the history of tattooing is tribal. It's usually done by a female. That was the original thing. It's usually somebody who is on a spiritual level of the tribe, and you don't necessarily, you come and you do the interview with elder, this person, this tattooist, and they help guide you to the tattoo that's right for you, but you don't necessarily choose it. It kind of chooses you.
Right.
And it's something that you get to heal certain parts of you or to step up to this thing, or like, it's a symbol of something that you have arrived to or that will help you pass through whatever you're dealing with. And that's like the ancient roots of it.
I love that.
Yeah. And
let's do that.
I know.
Let's do that.
There are people who really, really do it. Like I know somebody who does Reiki and who does...
I have a lot of people that I know.
But she's a tattoo artist as well. So she actively does... Like, I have never done that. I've never done that. I do what your tattoo artist did. I look through pictures with you. I kind of consult and figure out what you... And maybe I do it more than I think I do. Because there's been times where people are like... I throw something in there that I'm like... I don't know why, but I feel like it needs this. And I'll do it, and they're like... How did you know? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, this means something to me. And I'm like,
well, but that's just, in my opinion, like we get these downloads, right? And like some of us don't pay attention to them. But when we do, there is such beauty in it. Like like you said, I reached out to you at the time that you needed somebody to reach out to you. I don't know why.
I don't
did
either.
That. Like,
God, I believe it was
but
God.
it was something that said to me, like I was going through dealing with whatever I was dealing with, and I was like, "Whoa, I need to stop right here."
Yeah.
And we had that long conversation, right? And it wasn't because I was just like, "Oh my God, I know this girl, and I want to be her friend." It was something came in me, that said what I needed to say to you, and what you needed to hear.
It was perfect. And you've been that way consistently ever since. And that's why we're sitting here today. But, like, I love your God story for a lot of reasons. But, like, that's how I interact with God. And that's how I see my profession at this point, is guiding people ever closer to not God per se, but...
The spiritual side of life.
Well, like...
In my eyes.
Just fully loving them. Like, I'm walking with God as I'm doing the thing that I know how to do, that I know He gifted me to do. And I think it's the same with you, too. Like, all these things have culminated to this person with this motivation, with these skill sets, with this...
Right.
And you have these gifts now that you can, as you said... I know you need protein. I know you need this. I can give this to you and I can stop certain suffering. And so that's what it is for me in tattooing too, is that I'm providing something to somebody that they can't do on their own, that I know how to do and I know how to do well, and that is fully loving them. And I will not do it unless it's fully in the vein of loving them. And that's why I say no. That's why God says no.
Right.
Like God doesn't give you everything.
But it's always like, I always look at it like this too. It's not no forever.
No.
It's just no not right now.
Well, and also it might be no, because if I gave it to you, it would be the end of you. You have no idea what you're asking for. I know what you're asking for. And what you're asking for is so bad for you. Like, no.
Right.
So that's kind of how I work it now, which is odd because, there's the monetary system. We have to work with money and all that stuff too. But now I just see all that as energy and an exchange of, it comes in, it comes out. I don't worry about those things. I always seem to have enough.
Right.
Like, I'm not living high on the hog, but I'm comfortable. And
right.
I have stuff to give still. But yeah, that's how I see tattooing at this point. And I combat it with, like, to your point about, I don't know, you didn't continue about your argument with your daughter and the way you felt about the tattoos. You said how she was experiencing. She was angry. But what was your part of it? Because I'm curious.
My part was, honestly, as a parent, like, I always have to go back to this because I was like, do whatever you want, but then my brain was like, whoa. She's she's not even 18 years old, and she's asking to mark her body for life. Yes. And don't get me wrong, I love tattoos.
Yeah.
Right? But
it's young.
it's young, and when you make that decision, like I always see those tattoos where they're like, you know, it's supposed to be like the American eagle, and it looks like a like a dove dying, and a, you know, and you're like,
it happens.
you know, like what is it gonna be, and is she in her right mind?
Yeah,
you know, and I wasn't at that time. I was just angry that she thought she could manipulate me.
Yeah.
You know, it turned out to be a very bad argument, by the way.
Oh, I believe it.
You know,
I believe it. Well, and I asked that just simply because, you know, as you move into different spaces and meet different kinds of people, you know, I've moved into a more faith-based church realm. Mm-hmm. People are called differently with God. We all have our different walks. That's what I love about. I call it being in Christ. Mm-hmm. I don't even adopt Christian because there's so many connotations to that. And which one? What kind of Christian? What's your sect? I read the Bible. Okay? I read the Bible and I try to walk as much with Christ as I possibly can. That's what I try to do because I feel that he is like the ultimate mentor. So
I love that.
That's who my model is. That's who I want to stand before and be judged, because I know that judgment is the ultimate judgment and it's for my betterment, all of it. Mm-hmm. So when I, what was I getting to? I have now met people within that realm that are very anti-tattoo. And so I'm curious about those reasons. You know, I want them just as much as I want the love of tattoos. I have a lot of love of tattoos. Mm-hmm. I know tattoos. My clients know tattoos. We all love them. But for the people who reject them, I'm curious about that rejection just because I know it's out there. I know a lot of people feel that way. Mm. And a lot of it is they don't see what we experience. And
well, I think there's a piece of it that, because I was younger, you know, Jessica was 17, so I must have been 40-ish, somewhere in there. And I really was like, I didn't see it as art. Yeah. I mean, it's great for other people. Yeah. But not for me.
And certainly not on your kid.
And not on my kid. Yeah. You know, like, but when I started really looking at it, and I was like, it has to be a dragonfly. Mm-hmm. And it has to be the American flag. I don't know how to tie those two together, but it was like I kept getting these downloads of, and I would see the dragonfly everywhere I would go. And it was like, and then the American flag. I love the American flag.
I'm patriotic as hell too. I don't have one on me yet, but I love the American flag. It's a great flag.
You know.
Yeah, girl. I love it.
But I love the way that it turned out, because I think I was 52, and I told myself that if I was ever going to do anything crazy, not that I didn't before, because, you know, getting a tattoo seems pretty tame compared to some of the things. But, you know, I said if I was going to do anything, it would be when both my kids were grown. Yes. So that they could see a role model of not because I thought that they needed to see somebody without tattoos. Right. But I wanted them to see somebody who stood up for their beliefs. Yes. And whatever it is, and respected their body. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I did not do that in all forms. You know.
Like I said, everyone's called to it differently.
Right. You know, like I think I did a lot of good. Like, both of my kids saw me work out my whole life. Their whole life, I should say. You know, and so, like, even at one point, Jessica was working out just as much as I was. Mm-hmm. Victoria's not there. She's always been the vocal, the academic, she's the one who wanted to be social. Yes. Where I was the opposite. Yeah. And Jessica is the same way. Yeah. You know, so.
More introverted.
Right. Don't get me wrong, I can still socialize.
I mean, obviously.
I know, we've been talking for what? Like,
I think it's like almost 3 hours now. So
my God.
We're doing great. And we've had breaks in between, but that's just recorded. Right? That's awesome. This has been so much fun. But yeah, no, I mean, the reason why I love them is because I can understand that view.
Mm-hmm.
I can. That view is always important to me. Like, I have a pretty good track record with moms and parents, where I prostrate myself in front of them, like, I'm sorry I drew on your kid. And then they were like, no, it's beautiful, actually. It's very beautiful, and we love it. Like, you've brought out so much in my kid that is, like, beautiful, and we love them. We never knew that, like, this could be like this.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Like, until you actually experience it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was really surreal to see Victoria get tattooed, too.
Yeah.
But she was like a
boss.
She was like the girl was like, this is going to be really tender because it's behind the ear,
Yeah.
you know? She's like, it's going to hurt right here. And Victoria was like,
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? you cry when you get a paper cut. You know?
It's different. She didn't ask for it.
Right?
And it came out of nowhere. Screw that paper. That's not what I was about. I'm walking into this. You
Yeah.
tell me it's gonna hurt. All right, I'm ready. And that's the whole thing. Is I've gotten to the point too where, like, I invite people in. They are a communal thing. Like, people are like, I don't care what they have to say. I'm like, well, be sure about that, because you're gonna hear about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna hear about it for a lifetime if it's like
Right.
your husband, or if
Right.
it's like your parent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why don't you just invite them here? And why don't we just wrestle with what they have to say? Well, they're not going to like it. Well, it's you're making a false.
You're perceiving.
You're thinking that you have to ask for permission. No. That's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is, you're going to do it, but you're not hiding.
Right.
There's a difference.
And I think that's beautiful too.
Yeah.
Because that's what Jessica did. Like,
Yeah.
she always tells the story. I can't remember where she was, but she had this tattoo right here. And she was wearing tank tops and all this stuff. And her dad went and grabbed her by the tank top. And I guess it ripped. And she, of course, had this huge tattoo, and her dad was completely against them,
Lord.
you know,
Oh my God.
and she was mortified at the whole thing. And, like, I'm not a hider.
Yeah.
As much as I grew up in that environment, that's one of the things that I really try to pride myself on, especially since I got sober. I don't know why I'm starting to get tired.
Well, we've been going for 3 hours. We're going to wrap soon, but I love all of this. It's so beautiful.
Like, one of the things that I learned in sobriety is that we are as sick as our secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, like, I was like, well, I don't want to be sick.
Yeah, radical
anymore.
Transparency.
Right? I'm like, I was at a conference and I'm like, I have to go fart right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm going to do y'all a favor and go out there.
Right?
I could crop dust all of you and pretend like nothing happened.
I did that on the plane. I did.
Sometimes
walking all the way back to the bathroom because I couldn't.
I mean, a plane is definitely the kind of atmosphere.
It was a horrible flight, too.
When you finally get on there, you're about ready to crop dust everybody, for real.
I'll never forget. I was like, all I kept hearing.
Fuck all of you.
I was like, everybody was asleep, too.
That is
Thank God. All I can think is, thank God they have headphones on. Thank God they have headphones on. Please let them have headphones on.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They can't, like, there could be a whole riot on the plane, but, like, what is going to happen? Like, are you going to bring us all fucking down? I mean, that takes a certain level of person. It's like, fuck all this. I'm bringing us all
There's
down.
a whole gas bubble.
Over a fart. Like, I mean, you never know what kind of day people are having, but that would be, I mean, that's your day to die.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm not holding the fart, though.
No, because that's how you get cancer. I agree. You don't hold a fart in. That's not good for you at all.
Okay. So my kids, I love my kids so much because when you have kids, you find out, like, all the things that you thought you could never be embarrassed about. And then you find out some things that you're like, oh my God, this is pretty awesome, right? Well,
yeah.
My kids, Victoria was 8 years old, Jessica was 17 at the time. I think it was the same summer that she came to stay with me. They taught me how to fart and walk. I had never
That
done
is
that in my
hilarious.
entire... Because I used to always stop,
I still stop.
you know? My kids...
They're like, just keep walking, Mom.
Just spread your cheeks a little bit. Just spread your legs a little wider and just let it go. This is an 8-year-old telling me it's great, Mom. I think we were in Marshalls or TJ Maxx, and we're just talking about farts. I'm like beet red, and my kids are teaching me how to fart and walk in them.
That is the place to do that. I think that's the perfect place to do it.
And Victoria's doing this. She goes, Mom, I do this sometimes where I just go up and I put my butt in the clothes and I just fart.
Oh my God.
The best thing. Like,
Dude.
I'll never forget that. And now every time I go through the grocery store, and sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it go.
See, and this is why I invite mothers and daughters. I'm just like, bring your whole freaking family here, man. We're going to do some healing.
There you go.
Don't even understand. These are the stories that I get. I love my job because of that.
I
Because
bet.
Hours and hours
Right?
with this. And it's great when they listen to me and when they do invite their parent and they bring all these people in, and then because what you do is motivated by connection and healing and all this stuff. Then you get a trust.
Right.
Then it's not hard anymore.
Yeah, one of my clients,
Yeah.
her kids work out with us, right? And it's so interesting. Different culture, completely different culture. And so you cannot touch anyone over 8 in the opposite sex.
Okay.
And so I'm like working with them, and it was really cute because he goes, I just want to let you know, I'm 8 years old now. And I'm like, I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, awesome.
Right
I know
on,
we already
girl.
said happy birthday to you, so, right? And his mom had to pull me aside and tell me, right? But the kids work out with us, and they are like, actually like, well, what should I eat?
Oh.
How much water should I have? What should I be doing?
Aww,
And
that's
it's
awesome.
like they're learning.
Yes.
And and it was really cool because the youngest, he invited me to their Seder.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like it was when they lit the menorah for Christmas or Hanukkah, I'm sorry.
Yes, Hanukkah. Yeah.
And like he's like, do you want to come to see me light the menorah?
I was like, yeah, dude.
I was like, I mean, it was so cool,
Can
right?
I?
Right?
Right.
And it was like he was so proud of himself too. I think it was his first year of lighting.
Aww.
It was absolutely adorable, but it's like I miss them when I'm, but I love being able to connect the pieces for families like that.
Yeah.
Like she's doing it because she needs to get healthy.
Yes.
But I'm trying to show her
Right.
that you're teaching your children what to do
Yes.
so that they can be healthy in the future.
Yeah, and they don't have to be removed from this. Part of it is you thinking they have to be removed from this for you to be healthy. No.
Right.
That's your life.
That's the piece of developing a habit, right?
Yeah.
You develop a habit that happens whether you're sad, you're crying, whether it's raining outside. So many times. What was it? One of the times she messaged me, she's like, "Are you sure you want to come?" It was when that day that they had that really bad. They did that storm warning.
Oh yeah. It was stupid.
It was so stupid, and I was like, nah, I have a Jeep.
Yeah, like I'm fine.
What am I gonna do? Like, the worst thing that happens is I have to hunker down in your house for
what a Jeep is?
right? I'm like,
have you driven one?
right? I'm like, I have heated seats, man.
It's
I
gonna
have
be
protein
fine.
bars in this.
I don't want to get into it, but I grew up in a van.
A bus.
A bus. Sorry. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction. But yes, you're like, I'm good. We're going.
And it was funny because I was like, it was a warm day, and I was like, I could just run to your house. It's not that far.
Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. You're really amazing. And
thank you. So are you.
Well, I mean,
you are.
I try. I do
all?
try really
Don't we all?
hard. Yeah, I mean, I hope. And I don't know. I mean, I think, yeah. I think
we all
yes.
in our own right.
Yes.
Try.
No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right.
I don't like the word try anymore. My mentors really got me on this. We're not using the word try.
Tell me.
We are. I am. We are. I do.
Yes.
I'm doing that. I'm running a 50-mile race.
I like it.
On the 11th.
I like it.
I know. I am going to be miserable. No, I'm not. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
Amazingly painful.
Until you know what you know, until it is what it is. You know, like, you're just going to do it. I like it. I like that. I've heard that a few times. I mean, you know, Yoda.
Of course. Duh.
There is no try.
Well, that's what she would say to me every single time. I'd be like, I'm going to try. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is no try. Only do.
Yes. Exactly.
And I coach that now. Like, I was talking to somebody today. So I'm going to try to drink some more water. Like, no, you're not. I said, no, you're not. What are you going to do? She said, I'm going to drink more water.
Period.
That's it.
Yes.
You know, okay. Yes, you can.
Yes.
You know, but you start setting those little pieces into play. And maybe it's not perfect.
Yes.
But if you start saying that, you'll start doing it.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
You know.
I love that. Well, Trace, I have exhausted you.
I'm just hungry now.
Yes, I would imagine. Because
those damn cookies that we threw out.
Dude.
Nope, we're not talking about them, right?
We're not. They're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. But no, I'm sure you are, because you're eating well. And when you eat well, you get real hungry.
Yes.
And I know that. And you do get tired, because that's your fuel. Like, that's all you are off of. So I 100% understand that. But what I wanted to say is that if somebody wanted to work with you, how is the best way to get in touch with you and your preferred methods and things like that?
They can look me up on Facebook.
Okay.
Tracie Magee, Tracie.
Okay.
Magee, Magee. I think my Instagram is Tracy's Dragonfly Fitness.
Oh, I gotta follow you there.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure my Facebook is the same now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I can give my phone number, or they can reach out to you for my phone number.
I'm hesitant about my phone number, because people will contact me all hours of the day.
Yeah.
If that's something that you're down with, that's up to you.
If somebody just reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. My website is a little bit wonky right now, so I'm working on business cards and like trying to set that up better.
Yes.
You know, I've had it so many times. Like so many times.
But yet you're still in business, so
yes.
There you go. It might not even be something that you necessarily need. You know.
Well, I have my Tranont website.
Yeah.
And I've been using, like, we are like rebuilding it so that it is able to be more than just Tranont.
Yeah. So
that I can put my fitness stuff in there and stuff like that. So,
something more signature to you.
Right.
That's awesome. But yeah, I love that. So reach out on Facebook, Instagram, maybe private message you.
Yes.
You guys can start from there.
Yes.
I think that's a good boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my whole thing. Is like, I give out my phone number very sparingly, just because I'm like, I need to know that you understand that, like, I am not hearing about your tattoo at 10 p.m.
Right.
Like, I'm not.
Right. No, I always get weirdos. Never mind.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. You just got to keep a boundary, and
yeah,
as you said, your access, you've scheduled your life in certain ways. When it's past a certain point, that's it. And
exactly,
it is what it is. That's your boundary. You have to know when you're on and off, and when you're accessible and not accessible. And,
right.
You know, that's, people respect it once they understand.
Right. You know, like, that's one thing that I didn't understand for a long time, is like, you set those time blocks and that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's what people will work with, or they won't.
Right.
And it is what it is. Because you gotta, you know, you've got kids, you've got a life. You've got to do your own health and well-being, all of that stuff. Yeah. you can't give anything if you don't have it. So
exactly.
You got to make sure you keep that up. Awesome. And do you want to, I mean, your mom is somebody that I would say, do you want to shout out anybody, or do you want to say anything in closing, anything like that?
You know what I would like to do?
Yeah.
I would like to say something to my children if they were to ever hear this.
Beautiful. Love it.
I don't know what to say now. I have lived a life imperfectly, but I promise you I lived it as much as possible with love and grace, and I did all the things that I shouldn't have, and I believed that it was God God created, and I just love them. And I want always for them to know that they are my heart and my soul.
I love that. That's great closing.
Thank you.
And I think they will listen.
I hope so.
I pray they
will. I hope that they know that I, of all the things in this world that have happened, that, I did what I could with what I had at the time. And maybe it wasn't what was supposed to happen or should have happened, let's say that. But it was supposed to, it was supposed to happen. I'm getting tongue-tied now.
You're tired. I mean, it's been going.
It is, maybe I didn't do what I should have done. But it happened the way that it was supposed to happen. And I know that is God divine.
Yeah. Well, and, you're able to speak right now, and they're able to access you right now. Mm-hmm. They won't be able to do that forever, Mm-hmm. So things hold more gravity later. And I know that because I've lost people really important to me, and recordings of them and hearing their voice again and being reminded of certain things. They have a different tone when you're not able to talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful way to end this.
Thank you.
Thank you. You gave me so much of your time.
Oh, I could give you more. I got plenty more stories.
We're going to hook up again. This is not the end. I might do a guest spot to South Carolina. That sounds fun.
It. I love it.
That would be amazing.
That would be.
Well, I'm going to push end.
All right.
Maybe. All right, listeners. That was me hitting end, but that was not the end. Not for me, and not for Tracy, and not for you. We're all here, and we're still listening and doing. Tracy just got done in between this, or last week and this week. She ran a 50-mile race, which is incredible. She's got a medal for the effort. She got to pick it out. It's got a horse on it, which is so cool. You're such an inspiration, Tracy. Really, really psyched to have. I'm really happy that you had that download, and that, God pushed you to connect with me. I hope to keep the connection. But for all of you listening, please go, if you haven't already, and follow Tracy's Dragonfly Fitness. That's on IG. Tracie Magee. It's TRACIE is how you spell Tracy, and then Magee, which I somehow spelled wrong. It's very simple. It's MAGEE. Tracie Magee on Facebook. As she just said, hit her up, send her a DM or a PM, make the connection. She's a wonderful human to know, and she is just gonna give you as much as she can to help you in your journey. She's such a great human being. Even if she isn't talking to you directly, her posts are lovely, and they're super motivational. I know for myself, seeing people do the things they say they're going to do and post about it and all of that, it just gives me such a zing, I love it. I love it. And that's what she tries to always share with everyone on social media. So it's a beautiful spot of the internet. We all know that it can get really dark very quickly, but if you're looking for a light, I recommend this dragonfly. She is awesome. And Tracy, God bless you, hun, in all ways. You are phenomenal. I send so much love and prayer at you and your journey and your path and every moment that you have. I really do. You're such a phenomenal human being, and I know that life's just going to keep opening up. All right, listeners, you know how it goes. I love you. God bless you, and have a very powerful week. Later.
Thanks for listening. You can find the Apprenticeship Diaries on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our IG is the_apprenticeship_diaries. If you would like to offer constructive criticism or an interview, drop us an email at theapprenticeshipdiaries@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from our listeners.